Hey guys, welcome to Vlogmas episode 4. Today we're going to be making some healthy holiday treats. They're super easy, cozy, and honestly perfect for when you want something sweet but don't want to go overboard. We've got peppermint hot chocolate, frozen yogurt bark, a healthier version of Reindeer Chow or whatever you guys call it, and cinnamon sugar protein donut holes. I'm not gonna yap too much, let's just get right into it. First up, we have the peppermint hot chocolate. Hot chocolate is my absolute favorite in December. It's like the perfect winter drink. This one feels like a holiday treat, but with a little extra protein. For this recipe, you're gonna need 1 scoop of chocolate protein powder, 1 scoop of hot almond milk, 1 to 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1 to 2 drops of peppermint extract, and whipped cream and crushed candy canes if that's what you're interested in. I only had an unflavored protein powder, so that's what I'll be using today. So what I do first is warm up about a cup of the almond milk on the stove. You can microwave it too, but something about warming it up in a pot just feels way more festive. While that heats up, I mix together a scoop of the protein powder and a spoonful of hot cocoa. I'm telling you, it will turn out better if you use chocolate protein powder. I had to add a little extra flavoring. Add a splash of the warm milk and whisk it into a smooth paste so you don't get clumps later. Once the milk is hot, pour in the chocolate mixture and stir it all together. Then you can add the tiniest bit of peppermint extract because trust me, it goes a long way. And that's literally it. You can top it with whipped cream or a crushed candy cane if you want that extra festive feel. I added some marshmallows, and do not skimp on the marshmallows ever. And it helps sweeten the drink just a little bit more. I wanted that extra peppermint taste, so I went ahead and added crushed candy canes on top. Plus it makes it more aesthetically pleasing. This is the kind of drink that makes any winter night feel a lot more magical, so if you want to try anything for today, try this one. It just puts you in a holiday mood immediately. Next, we have the Greek yogurt holiday bark. It looks fancy, but honestly, it's the easiest thing ever. You can customize it with whatever you want. You can add fruit, chocolate, sprinkles, literally whatever you like. This one is one of the treats that won't make you feel too guilty because I mean, hey, it's just yogurt. For this recipe, you're gonna need 1 to 1.5 cups of vanilla Greek yogurt, 1 to 2 tablespoons of honey or maple syrup, and then whatever toppings you want. So it could be crushed peppermint, mini chocolate chips, pomegranate seeds, strawberries, and festive sprinkles. I just remembered, if you don't have honey, you can use maple syrup. I start with vanilla Greek yogurt and mix in a drizzle of honey to sweeten it a little bit more. Then I spread that out on a baking sheet. What I forgot to do was line it with parchment paper, and that's incredibly important because you don't want the yogurt to stick to the tray. Totally my bad. I was having a long day. So do not forget that because it's going to be incredibly hard, if not impossible, to get the yogurt up later. When you spread it out on the parchment paper, it does not have to be perfect. When it's a little uneven, it kind of makes the edges a little cute. So don't stress about making it look pretty. Now comes the fun holiday part where you can design it to your liking. I got a fruit mix. You can use fresh fruit. I prefer frozen. Mine was a mixture of pomegranates, blueberries, cherries, and strawberries. I tried to spread out my toppings pretty evenly so that every bite would have an equal amount of fruit and other toppings. I kind of wish that I didn't spread the yogurt out so thin. It would give the toppings more to sink into, plus it gives you a little bit more to eat. I could not find peppermint bark at the store, so I went ahead and bought mini candy canes. I used a meat tenderizer to break them up and then sprinkled them on top. It honestly made it feel way more festive. And then I added a few things like some chocolate chips and some sprinkles just to give it that extra holiday twist. Once you've customized it, go ahead and pop it in the freezer for a few hours until it's completely solid. Mine was sitting in the freezer for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it still was not frozen in the middle. So keep that in mind. You might have to have it sit in the freezer for 3 to 4 hours. When it's ready, you can pop it out and start breaking it into pieces. I had to use my rice spoon. So embarrassing. But anyway, it looks really pretty. I find it perfect for when you want something sweet but not too heavy on your stomach. Now let's get started on the Reindeer Chow. This is my lighter, slightly more wholesome version. It's chocolatey, it's crunchy, and it's super nostalgic. For this recipe, you're gonna need 2 cups of Chex cereal, half a cup of chocolate chips or dark chocolate, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter or PB Fit, and then you can go ahead and add whatever else you'd like. So that could be mini marshmallows or popcorn. I'm using Skinny Pop. So the first thing you're gonna do is start with your bowl of Chex Mix. Then you wanna go ahead and melt your chocolate. So I used a little bit of dark chocolate and I added a splash of almond milk just to make it easier to warm up in the microwave. If you wanna be extra, you can warm it up over the stovetop. It'll just take a little bit longer. If you're gonna use peanut butter, add your peanut butter to that mixture as well. The combo is gonna smell amazing. Next, pour the warm mixture over your cereal and start folding it gently so everything is evenly coated in the chocolate. Now here's the healthy twist. Instead of powdered sugar, I'm using a scoop of my protein powder. Again, mine is unsweetened, so I had to add a little bit more flavor with the other ingredients. And that's also kind of why I added in the PB Fit powder. Using protein powder and PB Fit still gives you that frosted, snowy look, but without the insane amount of sugar. If you want to add it into a bag to shake it, that's probably going to be easier. Last but not least, you can add in whatever else you'd like. So I added in marshmallows and the Skinny Pop popcorn, and then I gently mixed it to make sure it was also coated in some of the protein powder and PB Fit. And then for an extra pop of color, I added in some sprinkles. Not necessary, but it's visually appealing. But yeah, that's kind of it. This is the kind of treat you set out for a movie night and somehow the bowl's empty in 5 minutes. Last, but definitely not least, these cozy little cinnamon sugar protein donut holes. They're so quick to make, and I'm all about efficiency. For this recipe, you're gonna need 1 cup of Kodiak cake mix or any protein pancake mix, half a cup of almond milk, 1 egg or an egg substitute, 1 to 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil, and then a cinnamon sugar substitute for coating. Go ahead and get your bowl out for the 1000th time and start with a cup of Kodiak mix. Go ahead, add your milk and your egg and begin to stir it until it's a thick batter. The batter should be scoopable, not runny like a pancake. Not gonna lie to you, I was having a hard time figuring out the mixture. Full disclosure, this was my first time making the recipe, so determining the ratios and what scoopable meant was kind of hard for me. I pulled out my baking sheet with my silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, well, what are you doing? Go get one. If you're a fan of baking, it's a game changer for things like cookies and scones. To make my life a little bit easier, I put on some gloves to roll the balls. They don't have to be perfect because they'll puff up in the oven later. Mine were huge, and when they puffed up, they honestly looked more like scones. But it is what it is. To get more of a scoopable batter, I added in a lot more of the Kodiak mix, so mine came out a little dry. So if you're having a hard time figuring out the difference between scoopable and runny, make a test donut hole. I wish I did that. You're gonna bake them at 350 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes or until they're golden brown. While they're still warm, you should brush them with some melted coconut oil. That'll help the coating stick. I accidentally put my oil in the batter, so I had to use butter later on. So don't be like me. Now you're gonna mix together the cinnamon and sugar substitute and then toss each donut hole into that mixture. To me, they smelled a little bit like cinnamon rolls, which can be pretty dangerous. But luckily, these are on the healthier side. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you try any of these recipes, please let me know down below. I want to talk about them. I really loved the protein reindeer chow, and the hot chocolate is delicious. The donuts did turn out to be more like scones, but that's okay. I'd appreciate it if you went ahead and gave this video a like, and you might as well subscribe while you're at it and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss future uploads. This was a really fun Vlogmas video for me to make, so I really do hope you enjoyed it. But anyway, I will catch you guys in the next episode. Merry Christmas!